Hello and welcome to our podcast, Real Out Loud. Life happens, we get it. Join us and together we'll be engaging in conversations about the truths not spoken of, reflections about life and other issues, and experiences that reel or bring women off balance. I'm your host and my name is Nicole, and joining me will be my co-host, Kinkinia, and on our platform we'll have guests from different facets of life, some who have also had it real with life, and some professionals to give us information on these reflections as we figure out how to survive the real. Stay tuned. Hi Pinky.
Hi Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are doing one of the mini recordings that we have planned today, and I just feel like we need this icebreaker where we just introduce the topic of regrets. What comes to your mind?
Okay, the moment you say regrets, it's a whole lot. Like you regret not getting married to that guy. You regret marrying that guy. You regret having babies at such an early or older age. You regret not having babies at all. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of
There's
regrets.
a lot to regret.
You regret not going to school.
Yeah. So regret is basically drawn from the things that we had faced to achieve, but we literally did not. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Or maybe actions that we have done that have consequences that make us feel otherwise.
So regret is looking back, right? Because you can only regret after the action or the whatever is done. So regret is reliving a past moment and actually saying,
Bringing
I
it to
should
the
have.
future. And in my profession, we call the should have thinking a distorted way of seeing things, because it doesn't allow you to exist in the moment, but it keeps you in the past where you should have done that thing, but you can't feel the joy now, you can't feel the happiness now. Do you have any regrets? Hey!
Yeah.
You wanna hear them?
Yeah, I do. I do have regrets.
What do you regret?
I don't have major regrets.
How did you classify them, regrets?
Okay, I classify them as regrets because now looking back at them, you actually see this was a good opportunity or this was a good chance for me to do what I had to do. I regret not getting my driver's license when I had an opportunity to, because I thought I'm still young, I still have all the time and all of that.
You are not married, sister, eh?
No, I'm not married.
Do you have certain guys that you regret not getting married to, giving them a chance or something like that?
No. I think I had 2 guys proposed, and I don't regret telling them no. The people that I wanted to get married to always married someone else. So it's not a regret. It's just like, no. On boys' flat, nah. On the boys' are front, no. I don't have regrets on that. And I don't have a child. I cannot say I regret not having a child yet because I'm still alive.
Okay. Very important factor. So regrets, they are nullified by the fact that we are still in existence. Because I've got an opportunity to make things right. I've got an opportunity to turn things around.
Yes.
Get myself the one thing that I wanted the most, but might have not gotten. There are way worse regrets. Something that you cannot do.
I think
Think
the way
of things like an abortion.
Yes. And when, like, you'll be like, oh, my child would have been 4 now, or you see
You can't
somebody.
undo such kind of a regret.
Yeah.
How does someone get to deal with something like that?
I think it takes a lot and it takes a while. I do believe that time heals, but it does not heal completely.
Okay.
There will be those reminders and triggers
Okay.
that you just like, I shouldn't have done that. And you try to be at peace with yourself, to be at peace with your maker. And some days you actually feel at peace.
Okay.
But
Other days,
some
it
days
will
it
be
will
like a
hit
turmoil.
you.
Yeah.
It will hit you because it's
Regret
murder.
of a murder.
Yeah, it's like I fight with my what, get in the car, the person then ends up dying. Or we go clubbing, I say, I would drive. We both drank, I hit a tree, you die.
Those are very intense situations or scenarios that people sometimes suffer because of the regret. I feel like what feeds regret mostly is guilt.
Yes.
What I could have done different.
Yes. I'll give, there are some misguided regrets or forced regrets.
Okay.
I grew up with my dad, and then he later remarried. My mom was still alive then. Then the stepmom, like when my mom died, she did not get sick or anything like that. It was just the way that
Random.
she's normal. So I had went to visit her the previous weekend. Then she died the following weekend. So now the stepmom were like, you caused her death because you did not say anything was wrong with her. You went to see her, but then you said nothing. So I started regretting, like, did I actually contributed to my mother's death? Did I kill my mom? Okay. And it lived with me.
It lingers for long.
For the longest. Until it does not happen with all of us. Some of us, we need someone to get us out of that situation, or need someone to speak to. Yeah. And some you just have to sit yourself down. I was not there. I did not know.
How did you come out of that? Because this is not something that you put on yourself. It's someone who actually dumped it on you.
Yes.
How did you get out of that phase of the regret?
It actually happened when I sat down with my siblings, like the ones that she was staying with. Because she had left home the previous day, and then the following day, we all got a call that she was normal. So I actually also asked them, like, was she fine? What really happened? Was she sick? Did she, like, no, she just said, I'm visiting my brother, and then that's it. Because we all met at the uncle's house where we were all being told at the gate that she's normal. So yeah, it took time to even actually speak about it with my siblings. We all didn't know what happened, but we all did not speak about it. So there are those forced regrets, or they are channeled in you.
But does it come back sometimes?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
You know, I think for people that are dealing with situations like an abortion, one thing that I can help someone with out there is that we say regrets. It's like I should have done things different sometimes. Some of those scenarios play out like that. I think what is going to help a person, time is not going to heal a person. Remember, we say that the regret is drawn from the guilt. If you work on the guilt that you have for whatever action that you did, whether you killed someone, whether you broke someone, whether you did something very terrible, once you work on the guilt first, then you allow yourself not to have regrets. Sometimes people make choices that save them in the moment.
Yes.
But those choices are not good enough in the future. So when you look at things from the future now, looking back to the past, you see that was a mistake. And then automatically the guilt starts to creep in and follow through with you. But if you try to view the situations individually, when I was in this zone, this is what I was dealing with. This is what brought me to this decision. This is what put me in this situation and helped me to make this decision. You will make peace with it in the future if you remind yourself that that particular thing served me then. It doesn't serve me now. But now I need to focus on becoming better. Because that's what regrets do. They don't allow you to focus on becoming better, but they allow you to continually condemn yourself, to belittle yourself, to focus on, you shrink yourself to nothing, literally, because of the things that you haven't gotten right. But we are not perfect. We are people. We make mistakes and all that. So that's something that we should remind ourselves of as well, the reality.
So, Nick, is there a difference between regret and reminder? Is it the same thing, or the two different things?
A regret and a reminder. Wow. A reminder, it's like, I think a reminder is something that you see all the time. Let's say, what can we use for an example?
Isn't it like this is a constant reminder, or then if something is not a constant
Like
reminder.
we are talking about the abortion, for example. We are talking about the abortion. If it's a reminder, when you're walking down the street, you're going to see kids. You're going to imagine if my child was at this stage,
and that's a reminder.
How would I have felt? It's a reminder. Whenever you see someone of the same age, you think this was supposed to be the same time I had given birth. That's a reminder. Ne? And then when you are talking of a regret, now we are talking of the action of what you actually did. Is the consequence of the action you did individually. If you murdered someone, the consequences of that action.
Murdering.
But if it's a reminder, sometimes you're watching TV, you see someone being killed on TV, that's a reminder.
Right.
I think that's how I can separate the two.
No, that actually make a whole lot of sense. And when yourself, do you have any regrets?
I kind of do.
Major regrets.
Some I kind of do. Some, obviously, I can't share them on a public platform.
All right.
Considering the fact that people know me and there's a possibility of, a lot of, backlash from people. But I somehow had, sharing the experience of your mother, I also had a regret at some point in my life because there was a time, the time when my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I was doing my studies. I was actually in my final year of psychology. And then she pushed me to apply for my master's program. And I wasn't really keen to do that because I felt like I needed to be with her at the time when she was sick. So you find that most of the time I was in school and committed to my studies. My mom was busy losing her life on the other end. So after she passed away, I think that guilt kind of like sat with me for a very long time because I was thinking to myself, I robbed myself of the joy of having to spend more time with her, enjoy life with her, make new memories, even if things were so hard. My time with her was so limited because of the things that I needed to do in that moment. Right. But when I look at it from my perspective, it's something that I could have changed. I had the power to change. But when I look back now, from her point of view, I am grateful for each day because now that she's not there, I need someone to take care of me. There are times when I run dry financially. There are times when I can't support myself in certain instances. But because of the profession, the same profession she pushed me to pursue, I've become the person that I need to survive not having her around. Right. So kind of like I was saying earlier, to say some of the regrets, what happens is that in that moment, it serves you right. But when you look back from the future, you see it as, no, I should have done something different. When I look back now, time tells me I robbed myself of time with mom. With her. If I could turn back the hands of time, that's the first thought that comes to mind. But when I look at the future, which is the now, she's not there anymore. There's no way I was going to preserve her life, despite that I had dropped everything and gone there. Yeah. Fate is fate. So now I'm in this zone. Whatever choice I made, it serves me right in this platform.
True.
So that's what regrets does. I think regrets come from genuine experiences that are quite intense.
Yeah, and it's a matter of how do you deal with regret and a time frame, because like it or not, life actually goes on. I think for me, that's the painful part of life.
Change of narrative is essential. Remember, even when you go through the scriptures, they say that therefore there is no condemnation in Christ Jesus. They are trying to tell you that the person that you were then, you have the ability to change that now. You can become the best person out of yourself. Whatever that you have already done, it can be undone. So focusing on it weighs down more on you than it builds you. So for you to grow out of that situation, you need to focus on this salvation. The fact that I'm a new person, I have the ability to move on and become better and become something else. That's where your focus needs to be, not there
we make mistakes and we do have regrets, but we're striving, we are surviving. And I think that's what's important, to actually have a sit down with yourself, mostly and firstly. Like, okay, I did this, and acknowledging what you did wrong and knowing what you did wrong.
Making peace with the reality.
And make peace. Forgive yourself. Give yourself time to heal.
Can I comment on that? You know, most people, we struggle emotionally because we are fighting against the reality. We don't want to accept that the reality is like this. And then I want things to be a certain way.
No.
That's where the biggest struggle comes. But if you allow yourself to flow through in situations, you realize that you take less energy than you are giving in a situation.
Yes.
Look at basic examples like the wind. When the wind is blowing from a certain direction, it's harder to move towards it, the opposite direction that it is going. But when you go the same direction with it, it becomes easier. It helps you through. So sometimes acceptance does the same thing. When you accept a situation, whatever choice you have made, the things that you have done different or wrong, you are allowing yourself to flow through with the situation, and you will regain your balance as you go like that.
Yes.
Acceptance. Forgiveness. People think forgiveness is a feeling that you're supposed to get at the end of the day. But forgiveness is not a feeling. There's no way you're going to feel like, I feel like I forgive you. Never. It's a choice that you make. I can't carry this emotional weight, this emotional pain.
I don't want it anymore.
I don't want it anymore. I'm done with it. So I need to let go and make a choice to say, this person, I'm not going to hold any grudges, anything against them at the end of the day, or against myself as a person for the things that I've done wrong. Once I make that choice, I need to follow through with it and be accountable to it. Forgiveness, it's a wake up. It's not like a 1 day thing or a 1 minute thing. I forgive you and I'm done. It will come times when I don't forgive myself, but I have to remind myself, but we made a choice. We are not staying in the old house anymore. We need to move to the new one.
Yes.
So I can't carry the furniture from the old one. Yes. I need to make changes as well in the new one.
So it's more of moving from this point to this point, accepting and making a choice.
Yes. Making a choice to forgive yourself.
Yes. But if you regret a relationship and the person is still there, do I go back and say, I want you? Or what happens if I regret letting you go?
Sometimes, as people, we never really understand how certain things unfold in life. I'm a believer. I believe everything goes according to the plan of God and the will of God. Sometimes we don't understand why things didn't work between me and this person, and they are still there. You see them, they're flourishing. It doesn't mean that the same picture you're seeing there was the same picture you were going to get had you been with that person. I always tell people that the same reasons that made things to be in that moment, you need to cherish them, because you only understand certain things as you approach the future. True. Maybe when you actually get a partner that is more stable, you look back and you'll be like, this is what God was actually preparing me for. This is what fate had. It had better than I thought what was better for myself. Because sometimes we think something is good for us, yet it's actually toxic.
I let go this guy because then there is this flamboyant, confident, smells woo, and I go for that. 2 years down the line, guy is abusive. Then regrets. Then you regret letting go of that other nicer person and going for this person, and knowing you actually know that, okay, this was a bad choice, or this was a bad move. Let's say I do not necessarily want the person back. Can I go just to have a conversation with the person, or it's not necessary to actually say, you were a good person, I'm sorry I let you go, I hope you're good and all of that, or I just do it with myself? And
if the apology allows you to move on with your life, if you feel that the apology is essential for you to transition, then you do that. There is what we call rituals of transition in life. When we are dealing with certain things as people, there are certain things that we need to do to be able to aid that feeling and that outcome that we want. So if I want to forgive a person and the circumstances are not allowing me. I have to do things that will actually allow me to forgive this person. If it means doing an act of kindness, that's a ritual of transition, because it's going to help me move from this feeling of hatred towards a feeling of accepting this person as they are.
All right, guys. Like, just if you have any regrets, just let us know. What's your regrets, and did you move past it, or like just you've just had like it's a choice. If you haven't, then make that choice to actually let go of your regrets and start afresh.
Like you said, some people need help. Some people need spiritual guidance to be able to work through certain regrets, like the one we spoke of, like killing a person. It's not something that you just get over.
No.
That's quite intense.
No.
So sometimes you need spiritual guidance. Sometimes you need therapy, counseling sessions to help you with that, gain perspective of things in a different way. It doesn't mean if you think of something in a certain way, it's automatically 100% correct. Sometimes our thoughts betray us. And that's what happens in most instances when a person is struggling with depression because of the regrets and struggling to cope with their mental well-being because of the regrets. You just need to gain perspective. Talk to someone. Don't die in silence.
True. Right. So it's take the necessary steps. And be patient with yourself, one step at a time. Don't try to do a million things in a split second.
So if you want to share your experience, if you want to comment on any of our episodes as well, feel free to reach us out on nicole@realoutloud.co.za. And we've got a website, the beauty of it. You can drop us a message there. You can find our episodes there. You can share, like, comment, and all that.
So www.realoutloud.co.za. You find us there. Yes, share, comment, spread the word. And thank you for joining us today for this episode. More to come. And if you have a topic that you feel like we should talk about, reach out on the email. We read each and everything, guys. Peace.
Bye. For more on our episodes, on these relatable conversations, powerful and empowering messages, and access to these discussions on actionable tips, please check us on our website, www.realoutloud.co.za, or other podcast platforms such as Google Play, iTunes, and many others. Our episodes are also accessible on social media platforms indicated on our website and our YouTube page. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and invite others to our web page. Ciao!